everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life, and I'm here to do another album share. So the Sunday album share I've kind of been doing for the past few Sundays. We are on to 2016. 2016 is this fun navy blue album. It's kind of what I decided on. And I'm filming this at night, so we'll see what happens with the lighting. I'm also going to try a different way of sharing it. So let's see how it works. I was watching Laura Albert's beautiful share that she did. And yeah, I'm gonna try and take some tips from her about taking it out and showing you it that way. So we will see how it works. And if it doesn't, then I'll go back to the other way. There could be a little bit of shadows, but I think it'll be okay. 2016 was a fun year. This starts off with I always do, you know, a New Year layout. So this one's pretty basic, but I love the way it turned out. I really love this double frame with a little floral there, tiny little bit of, I love this Our Crazy Big Adventure, and that was really fun. I really went through a phase, and I still kind of do, where I try to do multiple alphas to make my titles, and then a little bit of just other pieces of ephemera that I had and layers of pattern paper. And then to document winter, so love, I like winter, I like fall, I'm kind of all about that. There is a whole bunch of stuff happening outside my window right now. And so to document that, we had this bit of a crazy snowstorm, and I do believe I have journaling. I do. We had a bit of a crazy snowstorm. So it says, though I am not the biggest fan of driving when it's snowing, I am a fan of taking in the breathtaking views. It's like the snow is hugging our city and telling it to just slow down and enjoy the beauty that surrounds us. I snapped this photo at Jackson's daycare today on my way to work, and the sight made my day. So this was taken on the 4th of January, so right into the new year there. I'm just gonna get this slid back in. Maybe I can get it slid back in. It's the only problem with hidden journaling when you aren't quite sure where you want it to go is getting it back. So I liked adding this here because it's a little pop of pink, which I do have in some of my embellishments, and then the yellow. So anyways, this photo was just taken. It's just a really pretty scenery photo from the tree lines from my son's old daycare, and I just really loved it. So I have a side border, so I still do this where I do just half a border. This one happens to have a double one with pattern paper as my background, so that's, I don't always do that, so it's nice to see that I can. Again, kind of the same layering effect there. This is a very flat layout, so I start to get into more dimension within this year, but this one is one of the more flatter ones that I have. So then I go into this, and this one's here just because it fit in my album. So this is me right now. This is actually back in 2015, June of 2015, and it's just something I did. This photo was a screenshot from a video that I did for a tag about kind of ourselves that I did way back then. So that's kind of fun to look back on. And then it just kind of says a few things happening, and I was jamming out to country music at the time, which is, I don't hardly even listen to that anymore, so that's a huge change. Loving every minute with my family. I'm addicted to any type of chips, enjoying creating layouts like I've never done before. I had created 50 layouts by June of 2015, and then I'm slowly trying to take better care of myself. That will be a lifetime goal, I'm sure. So anyways, I like this one. It's got a lot of different elements to it that I like. I did a little bit of stitching here and there, multiple pattern papers, layers, and I like this number effect with the different numbers. And then the back of it is I always try to do a goals or a New Year's kind of spread about myself and what I'm looking forward to, and you'll notice they're kind of the same. So make 50 high quality layouts, go on a family vacation, settle into my career, be more active with Jackson, and live out my one little word. I don't actually remember what my one little word was for that year, but that was my plan. So yes, and I like, this was for, it was definitely a scrap lift I was doing, but I really like this little layering of elements stacked on top of each other. So pretty neat. I'm a fan of that layout. And then we go into a date night that Sean and I got to go on. We went to go see the Vancouver Canucks play, and the journaling's really small. It just says Sean and I don't get to go on many dates, so when his boss offered us tickets to see the game, we jumped at the chance. I had so much fun getting to spend alone time with my guy. I'm not even sure if they won, to be honest with you, but doesn't matter. We had fun. This one was a fun one, like having elements come onto the photo. That's not something I always do, so I enjoyed that. The actual ticket is there. There's a bit of a layer with a chipboard, and the thickers are a little bit more layered. It's still quite flat though. And again, using pattern paper for my background. So these two pattern papers were one of my favorites from that year. I remember when I created this, how much I loved that paper. And then here is one about, this was a scrap lift from Raquel Bowman, and I know that because I've re-scrap lifted that layout for another layout that I did earlier this year, so I know what this is from. But again, just I like to do layouts about myself too and get them included. I used to have them all in a book of me, and I've decided that the way I want to do my albums and organize them and look through them, that I've completely taken that away and have just inserted them within whatever year that they correspond with. So this is one that was in there. And it just says you never have too much happy. After the crazy insane way last year ended, it's been so nice to find a new routine that not only works for me, but my little family as well. Jackson seems to be adjusting to his new daycare, and I am loving every minute with the new job out in Maple Ridge. And I'm still at this job. So I started that job in January of 2016, and yes, I love my office. So yep, I love the clusters. I love everything about this layout. So really fun. This one has a little bit more dimension, which is nice. Here's a fun one about my little guy and his love of bath time. He loves bath time. Jackson's favorite part of his nightly routine is when I say bath time, he loves to just splash away and make everything in the washroom soaking wet. I'd be mad, but who could resist having a happy and clean toddler? So he really loved his bath time. He's so sweet. Yes, this is using a bit of that fun line. Oh, I can't think of what it's called right now, but I really love that line. You'll see it in quite a few of these layouts. And I was so happy to get this piece of wood veneer. Caddy Miranda had given that to me, so I was happy to get that used up. And then this one is quite similar. You can see it would really match well with this one, but in my album it's okay because I feel like those go okay as well. But this one is just a cute photo of Jackson holding my hand. We went on a stroll, an afternoon stroll, just the two of us. So I believe this may also be a scrap lift from Raquel Bowman. I was very inspired by her, and I know I did a lot of scrap lifting from her in a certain time frame. So, and these all kind of look like they're the same collection, so it's possible. And my journaling just says the perfect afternoon walk. He even held my hand. Doesn't need to be saying much more than that. And this one is to document his birthday. So I do a few layouts for their birthdays. They get about 3 layouts a year. One goes in our family album, and then they are both in one album right now, but one will be literally just a layout of his birthday every year. That will go in just one little album. And then I have one that's included in the album that I'm creating that's 3 layouts a year, and that will be given to them when they leave the home. So they get 3 layouts about their birthday because of that. So it was, he was pretty funny here. He found a little kitty cat and he loved that. But this, so funny. we wanted to go for a walk and he didn't want any part of that, and that's kind of what the journaling says. So Nana and Mommy wanted to take you on a birthday walk the morning you turned 2. You, however, didn't want any part of that and just stopped in place for 5 minutes. On the way back inside, you met a friendly kitty, which absolutely made your day. So he was pretty excited about the kitty cat. It's the next door neighbor's cat, and he played with him until we moved to the house we're in now. But yeah, he just stood there like that he wouldn't move for 5 minutes. We could not make him move. He was determined to just stay there. We were not going for a walk. So pretty funny. This is also a scrap left from Raquel. And then here's Jackson learning to brush his teeth on his own. Being a dental receptionist, it's a big deal for me. So, but the fact that he has been wanting to do it himself was a big deal. So I wanted to document that. For me, it's just kind of something that means something to me for the field that I work in. I'm not sure that's something everyone would document, but I love it. Lots of layers. I'm not sure what I created it for, but I love it, and it's a great story to tell. And his toothbrush matches the lettering to the title, which I love. And it just says, lately you have been wanting to brush your teeth all on your own. For the most part, you just suck water off the brush, but it's a great first step. And there's adding a little J. I was trying to get J's added because it's not a letter I use a lot, other than the fact that it's in their name, his name. And I don't do that very often. I need to do that with all the kids a little bit more because they all start with letters that I could use. So I should work on that. This is a layout I absolutely love. I do believe it was for a lift and sketch. This is his little cousin Jayla. These two are best friends. They love to hang out together, and they were both so he was with Sean's dad and she was with her grandma, which is Sean's dad's sister, their brother and sister. And they were out with their grandparents, so they got to hang out together and they had lots of fun. And they have so much fun together. So stitching, hand stitching, I love to hand stitch, you know that. You start to see that more and more as my layouts go on, and then just a few tiny little bits of embellishments. I did have to paint these alphas to fit in with what I was looking for, and I love all of this except for this bright blue strip. I think does not match when I look at it now, but it's fine. I'm gonna leave it, but it does I do notice that looks a little funny to me. And then this one, I don't love this layout, but it's done. I think I've tried to do this layout twice, to be honest with you, so we're just gonna let it be. But Jackson had this thing. So lately your favorite game has been jumping on the gray mats in your room. You pull both Daddy and I into your room and say, let's jump. I love how particular you are about all 3 of us being on the mats and how you must all jump together. After a few minutes, we all hop out of your room and to the front door. I'm loving this fun nightly routine we get to all partake in as a family. So he was obsessed with this, and they're just little tiny mats. I mean, Sean had to be on one all on his own, and I had to share with Jackson. But if we were not all on the mats, he would get mad at us, and we had to jump like that, and then we had to hop like bunnies or something all the way to the front door. We were in a basement suite, so it's not like it was very far, but he just thought it was the funniest thing ever, and we would have to do it like 3 or 4 times before he went to bed, and he loved it. It was very a Jackson thing, so it's a great memory. I really do. I love that. It's not something we do anymore with 3 of them. They're not particular. We have our nightly routine, but it's not quite like that anymore. This is definitely one of my all-time favorite layouts that I've ever created. I really love the way that it turned out. Documenting Jackson, Sean went away to play, he would play poker every once in a while, and so he had a night out with his friends from work to play poker, and I had Jackson to myself, and so we blew some bubbles, and he just thought it was super funny. I just managed, I don't even know how, but got this photo of him with a bubble right in front of his face, just luck of the way that the photo was taken. And so because bubbles are best when Daddy's away, and then all these fun little elements up here. So really, I love this layout. This is another one I need to remember to try and scrap lift. Maybe do one of Nora or Barrett. So love that layout. I'm also a fan of this one. I like the photos of Sean and I. To me, we look so different and so young there. but I just love those photos. But this is taken on Sean's birthday. Nothing too crazy. We were just kind of sitting, hanging out with Jackson in his room before bed, and I'm like, it's your birthday, we need to snap a photo. So we went ahead and did that. And my journaling says, now that we have Jackson, birthdays don't tend to be a big deal for Sean or I. This year, I let him choose if he wanted to go to a Whitecaps game or the Team Canada versus Mexico match. I figured it would be a fun present that would get us out of the house. I had to work on his actual birthday, so we got to spend the day just him and Jackson. His birthday was on a Saturday, if I recall. Then, as our tradition, he got to pick what he wanted for dinner. It may not be very exciting, but it's how we celebrate our day, and it works. This is why I love us. We don't require much to be happy. So, I love all of these little hearts, though. So, like that. And this, because I believe the pattern papers are, well, this is Dear Lizzie, and this is Paige Evans. So they don't actually go together, but I do like how these spreads are together. This one is documenting me. Because I was working at my new job, I noticed that my eyes, I was getting a lot of headaches and stuff like that, and so it was recommended that I get glasses. So this is me with my glasses, and this is an exact, like, pattern paper for pattern paper, minus this adding the frame around it and then where my embellishing and stuff is, but this part of it, of Jen Scow's layout that she created, that was just like this. I literally matched up pattern paper for pattern paper because I loved it so much. It's okay to do that. If you give them credit, scrap left away. So love this layout. Look at it, it's got dimension on it. So that's what this is talking about, though, is my needing to get new glasses. And then I just kind of continue this. This was created at a different time, but it's just more, I tend to take a lot of selfies, especially when it was just myself, and when it was just Jackson, there wasn't a ton to take photos of. I didn't have 3 kids to take photos of, so now that I took a lot of selfies, so that's what this is talking about. I created this for one of the 12 Days series I did with Daisy. This one was the spring one, I believe. And so it's just embracing my new spring accessory and the journaling about it. I don't believe that the other side had journaling, so it kind of just wraps it all into one together so you can kind of understand. And then here is where we actually got to go to the game that was talked about in the journaling before for Sean's birthday. And we took a little fun selfie of us. And so after the season opener we went to for Sean's birthday, I got a phone call from the Whitecaps with the option to buy a 5-game pack. It was a little costly, but I said yes instantly. I love the idea of 5 guaranteed dates with my #1 guy. Love this. This was also a scrap lift. Not 1000% sure of who it was, but I did scrap lift it quite closely, I believe. And this is a fun one. This was when I was still doing Obsessed with Caddy, and we went through a series where we were obsessed with Missy Whitten and all the different things that she did. So this one, I think personally, was to document an everyday moment, which is what this was. And I love this. So I did my mixed media, which I was really new at the time. I punched out circles. Missy was big with circles, did some stitching, and did as much as I could that represented her but still was me. So love that. I got a flare used up. It is rusted. I don't care about that. I believe I actually used it when it was already rusted. I just kept it, so that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, I love this layout. I love that photo of Jackson too. He used to love to play outside in our we had a cement slab outside our home, and he used to love to play with that. And then there's a layout missing, which is absolutely fine, because eventually I can add one if I ever scrap lift anything else from early 2016. So the reason why is I wanted these two to go together. I don't even think you can see them together, sorry about that. But I wanted them to go together because of the color scheme. And so this one says big shoes to fill. He's wearing Sean's sandals, and I just love that. So he says you love trying to walk around in daddy's sandals. I love watching you try to wear them like they were actually made for you. It's cute. I loved his little blue shirt there, so I played off of that with my mixed media. that fun little triangle effect that you could do. So it's like a split border and a big old doily, and then some embellishing here and there. I'm a fan of that one as well. This one was a Spiegelman Scraps layout that I created. And this again, him playing outside. He's playing with some water there. His little bike had a place you could put something in while we were, because you pushed it. It was before he could ride a bike, and so he loved to fill that thing with water, and then it would tip out, and oh, he played it with hours for that. And yeah, so I took the circles and just filled them with all the sequins I possibly could. Feels, and my title just says hashtag feels like summer. This has been a very warm spring. Oh, this isn't even summer, it's spring. By mid-April, it was already hot enough to play with water. And then this one is a Spiegelman Scraps layout as well. This, you can see all these little gold pieces, and so on the top of that, I just, where there was gold, I put sequins instead. So that was kind of fun. I probably should have done it at the bottom too, but that's okay, I like it that way. And this one's embracing our new routine. So with my new job came a new routine of life, which is what the journaling is going to talk about, and just getting ready in the morning and getting ready to go. And I just love this little photo of Jackson with his toothbrush in his hand, in his mouth, and looking up and getting ready for work. And yeah, I love that layout. This is another one. This is one of the very first layouts I created when I was part of Spiegelman Scraps the very first time, and I love this. So stitching, again, I'm bringing back some stitching here, and every other one had the sequins in it. So Sunshine and Summertime, I do believe that is a song title. This spring we've had summer-like weather. That means lots of being outside playing. I think if we let you would spend the whole day out in the sunshine. I love this photo of him. Again, just a random shot that I snapped of him playing. But I used some mixed media, some layers. So you kind of notice this layer theme is popular within this year in particular. And a couple pineapples and a frame. So love that. This one is empty, and yet there's a layer here. So let's just slide this into there. Toddler Selfie. So Jackson likes to help me take selfies every once in a while. So it's not the best photo ever, but it's adorable. And this one says, after a much needed nap, Jackson wanted to go outside and play in the warm spring sunshine. The first priority was to take a selfie with mommy's phone. And yep, so this background paper I used some of my mixed media and just kind of put the teal over the black dots. Again, a little bit of a stenciling there, and a tiny bit of purple mixed media as well. I really like the color scheme of that. And then I trimmed it down and backed it with purple so that it kind of worked together, and it then went in with my layers there. My obsession, so talking about my hobby, this used to be in my book about me. I know this was for a challenge during National Scrapbooking for 2016, and I just happened to have this photo, so I made it work. And it says, there are so many reasons why I love to scrapbook. Telling all the wonderful stories about our life is one of the main reasons, but lately it has been just the pure joy of creating something pretty. So my obsession, you know, all the things I could think of to do. I got that scissors used up, which was nice to do. And again, the layering, lots of different layers. I was better at layering back then. The story documented, all things that kind of say scrapbooking. And then this is an overlay that I used. It was definitely a pink paisley, and I just loved all the different patterns. They were 3x4 cards, so I just trimmed them and used them like that. This is one, again, he's outside. He loved to be outside. I don't know how else to, that's kind of what the spring was like. But he had these cars and a tractor and a truck, and he was learning to play outside kind of by himself without mommy and daddy around. So that was a big deal, and that's kind of what this is talking about. In particular, I love this layout though because I made these little plus signs or X's or whatever you want them to be with my stitching, and I loved that. And it was using up some scraps from a layout that you'll see at the end of this year. I believe I made it for. And so I had these leftover little bits of pattern paper, and I used them to create this layout right away. And that is something that I'm trying to bring back, is when I'm creating something and I have something left on my desk, like say I have this left on my desk right now, I find a way to use this, and if I can't, gotta get rid of it. I need to stop putting things back in my stash. So that was one of the layouts that worked like that, and it's just talking about him playing by himself. Here's another one of me right now. So I believe this was again a challenge, and there, look, I got a letter used up, and I think it was about being monochromatic, if I remember correctly. So it just says nicknames. My mom will call me Chris. No one else does. I won't go by that by anyone else, but my parents have done that. I have blue eyes, brown hair. I hate to cook, although that's changed. I am enjoying it more. My favorite colors are teal and black. My favorite place is home with my guys. My favorite celeb is Kate Winslet. My favorite songs back then was Tennessee Whiskey and Die a Happy Man. My favorite animal is the red panda. That has not changed. And my favorite book was The Happiness Project. So just some random facts about me. And this one, I love this layout. So this goes in coordination with this one because they're both Mother's Day. But I got to go to Jackson's school to a mimosa bar, and I snapped the photo of just the pretty display that they had, and then used these little squares and the little invitation I put next to it because it was just so pretty. I had to use it, and just documented how much fun I had spending a little bit of time with my guy for Mother's Day at his daycare. Love this layout. It's perfect in spring and lovely. It was a 9x12, but because I didn't have another 9x12 to put with it, and it's got enough white space in it, it's just in the back, and it works just fine. It kind of looks like it was meant to be like that. And then here's actual Mother's Day, the photo I snapped. I'm half cut off there, but it doesn't matter. This one has got this is a sketch, but it's definitely got some stitching going on, some layers, selfies by the front door, a perfect way to spend Mother's Day. These arrows, I loved these. This was a fall collection, and I absolutely loved these stick arrows. They were one of my favorite things. So pretty simple to document the day, but I love the design and how it turned out. And it works perfectly with the layout in front of it. And then this is a fun one. I remember creating this layout, actually. I did it really late at night, and if you have followed me for any amount of time, you'll know I struggle scrapping at night. I am a daytime scrapper. But there was one night I was just kind of in the mood, and I was doing this watercolor effect with these arrows. And I called it getting my hand on, and then I just was like, I need to get this scrap. So I pulled out some scraps of pattern paper and just created this layout and had so much fun. I used one of the acrylic pieces. I struggle to use these, mostly because I just want to hoard them, but I got that used up. This fun little heart, all the pretty things that I've kind of been saving because I was documenting I got a new duvet cover and pillowcase, and I loved it. I still do. I really love it though, but I took a moment and spent a little money on myself to make something happy in my room, and so I had to document that. And it just says, I have been wanting a new duvet cover for a long while now, but for the life of me, I couldn't find the perfect one. Then finally this spring, I came across this beautiful floral print online. I ordered it right away and was so thrilled when I finally received it a few weeks later. It's so soft and perfect for curling up in. I'm so happy I took the plunge and now have this beautiful duvet to call my own. So that's not something I normally document, is things around my house, but I love that layout. And here is the very first layout, literally. This is my opening layout for Spiegelman Scraps. So that summer one was a really early edition one too, but this is the one that I submitted during the very first hop that we did. And it's using the Shimmers products with the sequins kind of on top of them. And just documenting my happy boy. We were sitting out eating lunch, and he was dancing to the music and happily eating his french fries. So pretty cute. He also had just gotten his hair cut that day, which is I think why we were having lunch. So sweet. I love this layout. I recreated it in a girl version as well. And then this is another one where I was being inspired by Missy Whitten, so that was that Obsessed series that I was doing. And it says you have Mama Smile, because he loves to smile, and we have some similar features, which is nice because for the longest time he was all daddy. He's turning in a little bit more like me now, but this is fun. So I did some mixed media circles, and then on top of that, I punched the actual like perfect circle and put them on top, stitched, and then fussy cut out the mixed media to put on the layout. I remember this was a fun one. And then there's a blank space for a layout down the road. And our fun trip to the zoo. We had a lot of fun. This is his first time ever going, and I am going to take this one out just because it has a feature. So I had multiple photos. There's my red panda, by the way. I had multiple photos to share, and how do you pick which ones to use? So I wanted to get them all used up, and I wanted to use this fun giraffe because we took a photo of a giraffe, and so I just took the ones that worked well within the collection. This is the carousel collection, and then all the other ones I just tucked away so I could use them. Anyways, and then I just included some of my favorites, and I had to include that red panda because, like you could read in my journaling, it's my favorite animal. So that's a fun one. Yeah, mostly using carousel collection. I really love the way that turned out. I do believe that was for a sketch during one of my 30 days of sketches. And finally, I have this one layout left, which is documenting a date night. I believe this is for my birthday. No, this was in June, so it wasn't my birthday. Sean's dad must have had Jackson, and so we went on a fun little date. And this is a really fun one too, because I had done some mixed media on the background, hated it, and so I put tissue paper over that and then built my layout on top of it. So you can see little peaks of mixed media behind it, but you can't see the disaster that it was. So I had lots of fun with that. That was really fun. And then this fun little XOXO, a little bit of journaling, and date night selfie. So there you have it, the first half of 2016. I will get the other half ready to go and be able to share with you next week. Hopefully you enjoyed this format of sharing a little bit better. It was a little bit easier than moving the whole album around, but let me know, and let me know out of the layout you saw which one was your favorite for today. I cannot wait to be back next week to share with you the rest of 2016. It was a really fun year. I really enjoyed 2016, so it's fun to look back on. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Bye.